this episode, I had the privilege to sit down with a Black trans-masculine couple, Keo and Mason, who have been together 9 years and have been married for 6.5. In the episode, you hear me say 10 years. I did not mean to say 10 years. They have been together for 9 years. So the couple recently welcomed a baby girl who Keo carried. The pair lives in Colorado with their daughter, 3 cats, and a dog. In this episode, we talked about the birthing process, how their family was treated by hospital staff and doctors. We even talked about the importance of having a doctor who has experience caring for trans folks. Our conversation covered family relationships, building community, and navigating social media. This conversation with Keo and Mason was such a beautiful experience. I know you will enjoy this episode.
Dem Bois, Dem Bois, amplifying, transmitting, color voices, yeah, we here making noise, making noise, visibility equals possibility, you know we them boys, them boys.
Welcome to Dem Bois Podcast. I'm your host, Sean Aaron, he, him, his. My next guests are a couple, a Black trans couple who have been together for 10 years. One of them was a past guest on the show, episode 109, titled Unapologetically Black, Trans, and Pregnant. His name means God will increase the warrior. They are both joining me today because they just welcomed a new addition to their family, and we're going to talk all about it. So welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us.
Yes, you all want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
I'm Keo, he, him pronouns. I was pregnant, not anymore, thank God. And this is our little baby Lou.
And I'm Mason.
Mason, want to give your pronouns to folks?
He, him.
He, him, yeah. So you said, Keo, you said, thank goodness you're not pregnant again. But from a video recently, you say you miss being pregnant.
I do.
Okay.
I do, yeah. And then I miss being pregnant with her.
Gotcha.
I'm not going to do it again. I'm not going to say I don't want to. But I'm not going to do it again.
Okay.
But yeah, no, I miss the experience with her, even though she's here now. And, we're blessed with that. But yeah, pregnancy was really beautiful.
Yeah. And that's one of the reasons why I want to have you back on the show, because when you were here, you were 27 weeks pregnant. Am I correct? It was 27 weeks. Yeah. And so just watching you in the process and how you both you put the process out for the world to see. So you're have it on Instagram, and so folks can join in to the birthing process and see you interacting with the new baby. And so I want to have you both on here to kind of talk about your relationship, how things have changed since the baby has arrived, whether that's familiar relationships, your relationship, because obviously when you bring in a new addition to the family, things change, right? And so what's the new normal for you, right? And so how was that birthing process for you both?
Oh, man. So I was induced at 38 weeks because I had high blood pressure. And so I didn't get diagnosed with preeclampsia at that moment, but I did like later on. The next day after we went into the hospital. And that was really hard. That was really hard to accept, for one, like that I was going to have to be induced. But also the induction, like the medication that they give you to be induced, it made everything like 1,000 times worse. The contractions were terrible. I was in so much pain, and I labored with that pain for like 2.5 hours. Yeah. And I hadn't progressed, like, because my body was so tense. It was so painful. I couldn't relax. And then I got epidural. And that was a life-saving drug. Labor was hard. The birth was really beautiful. I had a birth mirror, so I was able to see her like before she came out. And that was something that was really important to me. And I was able to like feel my contractions at that point with the epidural. They turned it down. Are you saying you want to speak for me? So I will say labor was really hard. Birth was everything. It was everything. It was probably the most, I think I've been saying this, the most sacred thing I could ever do. maybe. But also, it was the hardest thing I'll probably ever do.
And so, May, so how was it for you just witnessing your partner bringing life into this world?
Well, like at first, from the very beginning of everything, like with his high blood pressure and everything, I was just I wasn't sure. Like obviously we were close, but I'm like, nah, like she gonna come on time, maybe even a little bit later. So I was like not in that very moment when we're getting ready to go up to check his blood pressure. I'm like, everything's fine. Like his blood pressure is gonna go back down, and we'll go back home, and like we have time. But luckily we got the car seat in the car. We had to get like the check done, and we had got it done. Was it that same day? That same day that we were going up, because we have a doctor that's like an hour and some change away from our house. Just because like where we live is not, they don't have a lot of doctors that are familiar with trans people and comfortable. So we went up there. And I think in the beginning I was just worried like something was going to go wrong, like after the induction. Like, okay, we have to get the baby out. Like just like worried that something was going to go wrong. But after the first few hours or so, I kind of like calmed down a little bit. I was just there to like support. I fell asleep like in the beginning. It was nighttime. I fell asleep. I think he fell. Did you fall? He fell asleep too.
After my epidural.
Okay, I was gonna say you in pain, and then Mace, you falling asleep.
Yeah, I fell asleep. But we had a doula, so she was there. So I felt more comfortable to relax and like rest. And then it was like an hour of like maybe between 1 hour, 2 hours of labor.
I think it was an hour of labor.
Yeah, laboring, and then we just like anxiously waiting, and then like once she was coming out, it was just like everything happened quick. Yeah, pushing. Yeah, everything like happened really quickly, and she was there. She was there. I mean, he was good, like some bleeding, but like okay, enough for us to stay and have our time with her. And then after that, I was kind of like at ease, like okay, she's here, she's healthy, he's good, so we could just kind of like breathe for a little bit in that moment, and just like be present. And then once we got to our like post-delivery room, I was like, okay, like it's time for all of us to rest, right?
Yeah. So you mentioned going to traveling an hour and some change to a trans competent doctor. And so I don't want to assume how your experience was, but even with the competent doctor, how was your experience with like the doctors and the nurses who took care of you all?
Well, we had really good experiences. Our delivery doctor is actually the lady that did my hysterectomy. So we've known her for years now. And she like never flinches. Like you say you're trans, she's like, okay, like what else? Like she doesn't have like that sort of reaction, like overwhelmed or uncomfortable reaction. So he knew that he wanted her to be the doctor. She made sure that we were comfortable and like everybody on the team was comfortable with us and we were comfortable with them. So that made a big difference in the process and us not having to have up this kind of like expectation of being misgendered or like feeling uncomfortable or not supported in the ways that we needed.
Yeah. So do you have like any advice for folks that's listening that follow you all and just like really follow your journey and like, hey, I want to have a child one day, or I want to build a family, of finding a competent doctor that can help take care of them?
I would say you can start the research online, but you also have to do your due diligence. Like there will be some websites that'll say, oh, LGBTQ friendly, and that may be true, but like sometimes they forget the T. And like you just have to get to know these doctors, like have consultations, have these first doctor's visits and see how you feel naturally, with this person, having conversations with them about your experience and your goals and just see, how they react and how you feel about them.
Yeah. And so I know Keo mentioned during his interview about Mace, when you first met with each other, you didn't want children. And so Keo was like, that's a deal breaker for me because I want a family. Right. And so, as you grow with folks, sometimes things shift and change. Right. As the love grows, you're like, well, maybe I don't mind building a family with this person. And so what was that shift for you to be like, you know what? I do want to grow our family.
I mean, it's not that I didn't want children. Like when I was really young, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna have 3 sons. Like that's what I'm gonna have, right? And as I grew up, like once I graduated high school, I was kind of like pretty much on my own, like straight up since I graduated. Like I had to figure out everything financially, health insurance, all that stuff on my own. And so that at that point, I'm like, well, can I have 4 kids? Like I just completely put it out of my mind. And like finances was something I was always worried about. I'm like, you need X amount of money to have a baby. And so that held me back for a lot of time. But then opportunity presented itself, and I wouldn't take it back.
Yeah, I know. In our past episode, episode 15, we had a black trans man there, and him and his wife had just had twins. And so one of his things that he talked about was preparation for a family. He was saying, we were having a discussion about how people say that they want to have children, but they don't actually prepare themselves for children, and whether that's working through trauma before you bring another life into the world, right? Or just preparing your life in general. And so what was some of kind of like those preparations and even conversations that you both had of like, we're ready to build our family and this is how we're going to prepare?
The biggest, like we've been in therapy. We go to couples therapy, just like maintenance, just keeping up with each other. And now, especially since she was born, just like unlearning and relearning healthy tactics and navigating our like different ways of how we grew up, deconstructing that in order to give her the best upbringing that we can. Preparation for like both of us, I would say, was just accepting the fact that I was going to be pregnant as a masculine trans man. I think that was really hard for him.
What was it? What made it hard for you with that?
It wasn't necessarily hard for me. I just had a concern about how he would be treated, like before he got pregnant, like in public and where we live. But actually, we didn't have any issues like for the whole 9 months. But that was just my concern about like me not being there for something. We spend a lot of our time together, but like me not being there and like somebody like causing problems, like judging him or like maybe even attacking him for just existing, right? So that was my main priority, but I'm glad we didn't run into any of those issues.
Thank you for listening to Dem Bois Podcast. My name is Rachel Campbell, and I'm the Senior Manager of Programs at the Transgender Strategy Center. And we have had the most fortunate opportunity to work with Dem Bois on capacity building in different areas, including leadership and grant writing and fundraising plans. We're interested in expanding our small donor program. So let me tell you a little bit about what the Transgender Strategy Center, or TSC, does. First, we fight for transgender people's right to exist, the basic rights to exist. We invest in building trans organizations' capacity for resilience, meaning we want to keep trans-led and serving organizations around for a long time to come. And lastly, we train the trans leaders of the future. So if you feel so inclined to do business with us or to donate, you can reach us at www.transgenderstrategy.org. And then all you need to do is press donate. You can add us on Instagram at TSCINFO. Thanks again for listening to Dem Boys.
Yeah, I know. I saw a post that you did recently, Keo. It was about showing some of the things that people do say, even death threats. It's just mind blowing to me that what somebody else does in their life with their life, that it's a problem for you, right? And when I think about somebody bringing a child into a world, what I want for a child is to be in a loving home, a loving environment, didn't grow up in the ways in which I grew up, right? And I want somebody that's going to be raised healthily, right? And so it's like, how do you process that? Like, obviously you take it seriously, right? Because if somebody is threatening your life and your family, like, that's the one thing I don't care what you say. If you're threatening my life and my family, that's where I draw the line, right? And so how do you all process that?
For me, I think I don't read the comments after like 30 minutes. And that's not even like I don't want to read the hate. It's just too much for me. Like, my ADHD brain can't, like, every time I go on Instagram, there's comments. And I love it. I love when people are sharing their stories. I love when people are, talking with each other. I love when people are, trying to be in community with each other. But yeah, like, I will read it and I'm like, all right, block, delete. There's only, like, if I'm having a bad day, that's really the only time that it's gonna get to me. Like, I feel I've been Black and trans and gay my whole life, literally all of the letters in the alphabet soup. And I guess that was part of the preparation too. Just like, I know that I'm gonna get this hate, so I'm just gonna let it be. Not let it be as in exist on Instagram. Like I said, I'm gonna delete it. It's my page. I'm gonna do what I want. But yeah, it just goes. I just brush it over my shoulder because, for one, you're not gonna say it to my face, and I will beat your ass if you do. And I would have done it pregnant. So
yeah.
Like, everyone is a keyboard bully, There's really nothing that you can say to me that, one, I haven't heard before, or two, is going to make me feel some type of way.
And a lot of times people say it's easier said than done, right? And sometimes it is. Is there an outlet where you can process? Do y'all talk about that in kind of like couples therapy? Because we can say that things don't affect us, but deep down, sometimes things do affect us. You might be laying in the bed and you're like, damn, I'm thinking about this comment that I read, right? Do you have ways of how you all can process those things? Or maybe like, oh, I saw this, but I'm not going to share with my partner. Or like, are there things that you can do to kind of maintain your mental health, but while being vulnerable at the same time?
So when I first started, I wouldn't tell him about the comments. I'm sure he would look, but I wouldn't tell him about the comments. I'm just deleting. Like, it is what it is, but I'm not gonna, like, share this beautiful moment and have all these hate comments underneath. So I'm gonna delete it. But I think now we do talk about it more. I would say, like, he looks at the comments and he's gone through and deleted some himself. But like you said, it definitely is easier said than done. I think the only comment that really got to me was the death threat and, like, threats against my child, because, like, that's really disgusting. Like, you're a disgusting human being. And it just really made me feel, like, really sad for the world. Like, you have people threatening children. You have people feeling so threatened by this baby that you now want to threaten their life. Like, that, it just makes me feel really sad. Like, and not for me, because, like I said, I'm going to beat your ass, but just for the world in general. Just like, this baby wasn't even born yet, and it's just, So I think we do a lot of debriefing. I process out loud, he processes out loud. So that's definitely a way for us to like go over and like, what bothered you about this post today? Or and we try to, so he helps me with my social media, but we try to like cater to like funnier videos now, and like while still being educational. And that way, like you can say what you want, but like this was funny. Yeah.
I love some of your videos too of like you trying to eat, like especially when she was first born. Of like I'm trying to eat, I'm trying to balance life and this new normal of like I'm hungry too, and you hungry, so we both gonna eat at the same time. And so I
Yeah.
really enjoy seeing things like that. And I'm a father. I'm also a grandfather. And so I want to ask you, just holding this little baby. Obviously, that's way in the future, right? Even if Lou decides to have children or not, or whatever, we don't know what the baby who she will be, right? And so it's kind of
Yeah.
like, do you all envision of like what life can be like in the future, and whether that's planning for as you age, right? And so, are there any things that you all do or talk about that has to do with the future?
I think we do a lot of talking about the future, I would say.
Yeah, like when she's younger, or what life will be like when she gets older. Like I think the other day, we were talking about we were watching something on TV where one of our favorite shows, and one of the ladies had gone to propose to her husband because he had proposed to her, but she said no because of whatever it was, even though she wanted to marry him. And so he was like wounded, and she was like, okay, well, I'm just going to propose to him because I do want to get married, And I was like, we were talking about how like women don't usually propose to men. Like it's not really a thing. And I was just saying, well, if Lou happens to be straight, and I want, her to marry a man with, some type of initiative, right? I don't want her to have to like be the one proposing. It just seems weird. And he was like, oh, well, you proposed to me, whatever. Does that make me a lady? I'm like, that's different. Like, we're gay. Like, that's different. But, like just wanting whomever she marries, if she wants to marry somebody that protects her, to be someone that takes initiative and is able to do that.
I love that.
We talk a lot about like the characteristics that we want her to have, and that we want to show her. And I think him being like that protector, that provider, that's what he wants to see. And that's kind of the conversations that we have. Like, it doesn't matter who she is. We want her to love her life. We want her to be who she is. We want her to make good decisions and be kind, and outside of that, like he wants her to play tennis. We definitely do think about these things, and it's just like, for me, it's pausing for a second and thinking like, she is 3 months old. I need to be right here, right now. It does not matter what she's going to be like in a month, So yeah, we definitely do a bit of theorizing and also staying in the moment.
And so it takes a village to raise a child. And so what does your village look like in this current moment?
Well, it's really just like us, and then like physically, like someone that's close. Our doula is still in our life, and she likes to like, hang out. She loves the baby, and so we have her and our nurse, and our old neighbor. We got really close with her before we moved. And so she loves the baby too. She met her for the first time.
Maybe last month. Yeah.
But besides that, we don't really have anybody like physically, because all of our parents live on all our family members live on the East Coast. And so it's really just us.
Yeah. We have his mom, who is obsessed with her, literally has been obsessed with her since before she was born. Loves her very, very much, loves us very much. And we had my dad. That was a video that was on Instagram too, but the people will be sad to find out we don't speak anymore. Yeah, that was really hard. When he came to visit, he was probably the most excited about my pregnancy, and like he checked in a lot. which is why we both felt comfortable with having him here, and looking forward to having him here. But when he was here, he dead named me, misgendered me the entire time. And
Mm,
so for me, that was like like you don't see me.
mm,
You see me as a woman, and that's why you're okay with my pregnancy.
mm,
And so when we didn't have time to have that conversation while he was here, and I wanted him to have a good time with his granddaughter. I wanted her to experience him. Um, when I was talking about this with my therapist, I was just saying like, it's really a beautiful thing to be loved by him. And I want her to experience that, but not at my expense,
yeah.
you know? So yeah, I had the conversation with him when he went home. I called him and just let him know, like, this was really hard for me. I wanted you to be here for her sake, but this was really hard. Like I have been out for 15 years. I've been medically transitioning for 10. My name has been changed for 10 years. Like, and I was just telling him that this is the order that things have happened. Like it's not nothing, it's not anything new. And he was saying, oh, well, it's hard for me. So
Mm,
I can't do it. I'm not gonna do it. And I said, if that's the case, we need to take some space. And he said, okay, we'll take some space.
mm.
So he made that choice.
That's kind of hard to hear because I know you talked about how much you all was in communication, how excited he was. Um, and what about your mom? Is your mom still weird, being weird?
She's less weird.
Okay.
Definitely less weird. Um, we talk. You're, she's doing her own interview.
And that's okay.
We talk on and off. Not on and off. We talk a few times a month.
Mm,
And that's better than what it was. She has sent things for Lou. She's called and talked to her. We don't. She lives in Jersey, like Mason was saying. She lives in Jersey, but yeah, like FaceTime has been scarce. So she's still weird,
mm,
but she appreciates like the pictures and stuff, and she'll call or text and check on her. Um, Better than my dad, I'll say, but still
mm.
not the best.
Yeah. You know, I don't want to go back to your dad for just a second because I want to tie this into like as Lou grows. And so by all means, if you need to protect your own peace first, right? Um, so how do you plan to talk about your identities and your growth to Lou as she ages, right? Because then you have moments where if somebody comes into a space that knew you before and they dead name you, will Lou understand this person is just being ignorant in a way, right? But this is my dad, right? You know, and so how do you? What are the conversations that you plan to have as she ages and grows?
So we have definitely talked about this like a lot. And for one, like kids, babies, they understand what you tell them, what you teach them. And she is not gonna know us other than her dad's. Um, but she will know that I carried her. That's something I'm very, very proud of. Literally today we were at swim, and her swim instructor asked, like, oh, did you guys do IVF? I said, no, I'm trans. I carried her.
Mm,
She's like, oh, that's fun. How'd you like it? I loved it. And I'm very open about the fact that I carried her. If you ask, I will answer. And we want her to be curious. We want her to ask questions all of the time, every time. So we will have those conversations, and we have different kinds of books that explain trans bodies and different kinds of bodies. We just read What Makes a Baby the other night for bedtime.
mm,
And it's just, for me, it doesn't feel like a big project. It's just who I am, you know?
right.
And she's gonna see that. And she will also, we will try our best to get her to understand at a very young age that not everybody sees us the way that we see us, and the way that, other people see us. People are going to say things to us. They're going to say things to her that aren't nice.
Yeah.
And I think we are very much of the knowledge that we will not let anything or anyone try to convince her that we are not who we are, and that is her dad's.
Mm.
And that's just that, like I feel like a lot of people are missing that education of sex and gender. And that's something that she's going to know because and that's really what it comes down to. It comes down to reading. It comes down to learning. It comes down to speaking to your child.
Yes.
About these different instances and about different people. Yeah. What would you say?
Yeah, I think it's I think sometimes it's just complicated, and then sometimes children are just like, huh? Like when you can just keep it as simple as it is, daddies were born female, but we're your dads now, and that's really it. And kids will usually just be like, okay.
Yeah.
And they won't second guess it. But I think if you use too many complicated words and things, then it becomes more confusing for a child. So I think keeping it simple is the way to go.
I think the language that children understand, and as you know, what we all have in common is we were once children. Right. I think that the language that children understand is love.
And that's it. And that's it.
Yeah.
And I think it's important for me, at least for her, to understand that, like Mason said, when daddies were born, everyone thought they were girls, but that's not how daddies felt, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that I enjoy talking about my life experiences. And so that's something I want to share with her, we have the pictures, we have the different keepsakes from our childhood, and that's something that I want to share with her. It wasn't all doom and gloom.
And it's preparing a child for the world, right? Because your house is going to be different than maybe her friend's house, or what you learn at school, or other people that you come and interact with, right? It's like learning love and acceptance for people because everybody in the world is fucking different. We're not all the same. We all have different experiences. We come from different places. Right. And you both are from the East Coast and you're in Colorado. Right. And so it's like, even that's different. The culture on the East Coast is different from where you are. Right. We all have these different experiences that we have to contribute to the world. And it's just learning how to live together. That's it. It's so simple. Like you said, Mace, like you don't have to be that difficult when you're raising or teaching a child. And I did the same thing with my child. I let him know straight up, things of the world that's different. And I didn't do any sugarcoating. I was very open and honest with him. You can come and talk to me about things, and one of the lessons that I taught that my son was always saying, it's not fair. It's not fair. I say, I understand that, son, what's not fair, but also out there in the world as a Black man, it ain't fair. Right. And so it's just not shielding your child from the truth. Right. Yeah. And there's ways to do it. And so I have all the hope and faith. I know y'all gonna do it.
Hey y'all, Pink Lady here. I am the producer for Dem Bois Podcast, and I am so excited to tell you about my production company, Pink Lady Productions. We collaborate with creatives like you who are driven to share your message by launching your podcast from A to Z and coaching you through the process. To learn more about our services, check out our website at pinkladyprod.com. That's PINKLADYPROD.com.
I just keep thinking about your dad. It's like, he's missing out.
He really is. He really is. Like, she was 3 weeks when he saw her. And now she's 3 months. She's 3 months now. She's rolling over. She's
already, yes,
almost saying dada. So all these milestones that he's missing out on that I wanted him to be a part of.
Yeah. Do you feel that you will reach out, or are you going to wait till he reaches out?
He sent me a text the other day just asking how I am, how we are. I said, we're doing great. We're fine. And he didn't respond. So
is there a time frame? So say 2 years go by, 5 years go by, 10 years go by. Will you be okay? Will you get to a point where you're okay? where like he missed out and that's just it, right? Or will you maybe 10 years walk by and you still welcome him back? Is there a limitation, like a statute of limitations to the relationship?
I told my mother this actually. I need an apology. I was wrong. This was wrong, but I still see you. That's what I need. And I don't think that's too much to ask. I really don't. And I think that cis Black men, they have this like, I'm not gonna apologize. I'm not wrong. And if that's what he wants to stand on, I will stand on keeping my child away from him.
Protecting your child at all costs.
And that's just it. And that's something that I explained to him on the phone as well. Like, we are Lou's fathers. This and that, period. That's the end of the sentence. And for you to be in my home, literally sleeping in the bed that I bought for you, it just really, it's just, there's no respect. Is there love? No. You love this theory of a person that doesn't exist. Yeah. But yeah, if it comes down to it, like when she gets older and she's like, what about Pop? It's out of my hands at that point. If that's something that she wants to do, I'm not going to stop her.
Yeah. Mace, what about, I know Keo talked about siblings. What about you? Do you have any siblings?
I do. I have, I can't even. So my mom, yes, I think 5 is right. So my mom, she fosters and adopts. She's been doing it since I was 7. I'm 28.
He's his mom's only biological child.
Oh, yes. Got you. Okay.
So I'm the oldest, and my closest to my age siblings are still 9 and 10 years younger than me. Oh, okay. So we didn't really have a relationship because I was so old and they were so young. But now we kind of have one. My sister, she loves babies. She was excited for the baby. And my brother was too, but he's like it's not the same excitement from a sister and a brother. And so, yeah, she was really, really excited. But she hasn't gotten on a plane by herself ever. So, and she's kind of scared. So I'll have to bring her to see her. But yeah, my siblings, they love kids.
Okay. What about your mom? Is your mom going to come visit?
She's scared. She's only been on a plane once. That was before I was born. So
yeah, we've been trying to get her to come out since I was like 20 weeks pregnant, and she's like, no.
Okay, I think she would, but she has like a lot of babies and no babysitter for a few days. Like somebody she can trust to take care of all of them and make sure they get to school and pick them up and all of that. But I think she would consider it if I could solve that problem.
Yeah.
Like find somebody that she can trust to take care of them for a few days and get her out here.
Okay, so when we taking a trip to Jersey?
Yeah, she asks us every day.
Oh, okay.
She's been fighting to have the baby for a whole month. And Keo's like, no.
Wait, by herself for a whole month?
By herself.
Yeah, like send her to Jersey for a month and come pick her up.
And she's dead serious about this.
Okay, you wouldn't do it? You wouldn't do it?
No.
Okay, why?
I'm sorry. For one, I'm way too protective for that.
Okay.
Well, also, like, I love her and I love the person that she is now. And I love the grandparent that she is to Lou. But also, I can't say that I trust myself or her to be with her and me. Let me not say that. I do trust her.
She has different parenting techniques.
That's what it is. Yes. The parenting techniques are very different.
Yeah.
Okay.
And she has a house full of children, which would be a lot different of an experience for Lou to have to wait for what she needs and wants, as opposed to, us coming every time she needs us.
That makes sense.
Yeah. And my mom takes it like we're saying that she can't handle it. I know she can handle it.
Yeah.
But it's just making sure that Lou gets what she gets at home.
Yeah.
And I know it would be different there. She would
makes
get what
sense.
she needs, but it would just be a different environment.
Yeah, it would be too hard, I think, for me to adjust, but also for her to adjust. Like Mason was saying, at home she gets all the attention. She gets what she needs when she needs it. And it's not like, if Robin, if you see this, if you hear this, I do trust you and I do love you. But yeah, that's just it for me. But also it's mostly just me being like a new
A new
parent,
parent, yeah.
someone who just birthed this baby. And I'm like, oh, my baby. But I'm starting to I'm not gonna let her go away for a month, but I'm starting to loosen up a little bit.
Okay. So it will become a time where you're like, you know what? We need some alone time. We need a vacation. We need a break. Not to say that it's going to come any time within the next year or two, right? As Luke grows. But do you feel like you would be more relaxed in a way where you're like, you know what, Mace, we need to go, I don't know, to Hawaii. We need to chill for a minute. Be kid free, be animal free. Do you feel like that will come a time when that can happen?
I want there to come a time. I mean, do I? I know that Mason needs that.
Okay.
So that is something that I would do.
Okay.
Yeah. And I know that like we need alone time, obviously, like time to ourselves and like individually as well. It's just like, again, I just birthed this baby. Like it for me, it's like I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. Like my whole heart is just like out of my body. And now you want me to separate myself? You want me to walk away? I don't know. But yes, no, I know that there will come a time where we need to just have time for us. And there has definitely been times where we're like we wanted to go to the gun range, and we obviously can't do that. And there definitely are times where I'm just like, I want to go to the movies or like, something. And we have been speaking about vacations. Right now we're taking her with us, but yeah, I think there will come a time in the next year when after she's a year old, I would definitely want to go on vacation, just us, because we have fun. We like to have fun. We like to have fun. Yeah. And it's not like we go out or anything. It's just time for us to sleep in, in a different state.
Yeah, I think it's very important, especially as your child ages, right? Adolescence, teenager. When your child's a teenager, you might be like, no, we do need a break. Go with your grandma,
Yeah.
But I think that just speaking from my own experience, I know as my child, and I didn't have a child as a newborn. I came into my son's life when he was 9 or 10. And so it's obviously a different experience, right? But as he aged into those crazy teenage years, where I didn't know who the hell he was at times, it did put a strain on my relationship. And we never talked about that. And not just, and I want to, just a bit of advice of like, you all go to couples therapy, but like just keeping that communication open. Right. And I realized, Keo, that you started going back to the gym. And so even just making time for yourself to be like, I need a moment. I love you. I love my baby, but I need a moment to myself to refresh, refill my cup, and then come back as this rejuvenated person for our family. Right. And so just to think about it, I'm not saying send Lou away for a month, but just to be in communication, like, sometimes we may need that time. Right.
I think for me, it's just like, I do want to build community here that I can just like, Mason was saying that our doula is still in our life and we love her very, very, very much. And we appreciate her being around us. Last month, we took Lou to the museum with her and just having her with Lou. And it's just nice. So like building that community that I can just take my baby.
Yeah.
I'm going to stay with my husband. Especially like having that physical community would help me feel better, like ease me into it, than sending her across country.
Yeah. Would that community mean other folks that have children also, or just community in general?
Community in general. That's something else we've been discussing, moving. So when we moved here, 5 or 6 years at this point.
Almost 6.
almost 6 years we've been in Colorado. We weren't thinking about a baby. We were like, oh, let's go smoke weed and eat good food and stay there, you know? And so that worked for us great. Like, we love it here, but then, like, it's thinking about how we grew up and how it made us who we are and who we'd be if we grew up here. Probably not the same people. And so just thinking about traveling more while she's still really young, to see where we can move, where we feel comfortable and we still get the things that we enjoy here somewhere else with more Black community.
That was my next question. That was my next question of how is the Black community where you are?
It's like pretty much non-existent. Like it's few and far in between.
Gotcha.
And it is a concern, because for me growing up, like I was the majority. Like I rarely, I didn't see a white person until like middle school. Like it was all Black people, maybe a couple of Spanish people, and that was it. And so that made me who I am. And I think that as a Black person, you need that, especially in your developmental years.
Yeah, that was the same for me. I went to it was mostly Black, Latino school. I actually didn't see my first white person and go to school with a white person until I was in high school.
Yeah.
And that was definitely a culture shock because my mom sent me to it's more of a white neighborhood, and so that was a real culture shock. Like, wait, white people do what? So, I think that's the thing to think about. And so, how soon is the move? Is it like the next year or 2?
A few years before, I want to say, before she starts like elementary school. Maybe daycare here would be okay, but definitely before elementary school.
Yeah. Yeah, so we have a few years. We've been wanting to do some traveling. Obviously, we couldn't because I was pregnant. Just to like scope out different places. We've been thinking about Michigan. I would love to go back to New York City, but I can't afford it. But yeah, just different places that have richer Black communities for her to grow up around and in.
Would you go back to Atlanta?
No.
No. Damn, Mace, you like, no, I didn't even get it out all the way. No? Okay.
We were kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it just put a bad taste in your mouth. We were so young and broke and
gotcha.
Life was hard when we were there, and the bugs and the humidity.
It's the bugs for him.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm with you with the bugs.
Atlanta. Yeah, Atlanta's not my favorite place.
Gotcha.
No.
Okay. 2026 marks 10 years of Dem Bois Inc. That's 10 years of community care, 10 years of leadership rooted in love, and 10 years of turning visibility into possibility. And so to honor this milestone, we've launched our 10 for 10 campaign. You're like, Sean, 10 for 10, what's that? So we are inviting you, our listeners, our supporters, our allies, and other folks in the community to give $10 a month to help sustain the care, leadership, and visibility that trans men of color deserve. And so 10 years is a very long time, right? That's a decade. Can you imagine raising a child from birth and then looking at them at their 10th birthday party and being like, wow, you've watched so much of their growth within that 10 years, right? That's the same for us. And so Dem Bois Inc., over the 10 years, we have done a lot. And so we have provided gender affirming surgery grants to trans men of color to obtain gender affirming surgeries. We started this podcast. We are now in season 4 of the podcast in 2026. We created our Visibility Equals Possibility merch. We partnered with Emilio and Zion, both trans men of color, to design what visibility equals possibility means to them. And it's reflected in our merch. We also partnered with the Black trans man, Mola Flow, to create our theme song. And that's the music that you hear every time you tune into Dem Bois Podcast. We've done merch. We've done partnering. We have delivered care packages to trans men of color in need of personal hygiene items within our community. We have done a lot in 10 years. And so imagine what the next 10 years would look like. Donating $10 a month says, I believe in this work. I believe in the future of trans men of color, and I believe in what comes next. And so if this call resonates with you, join us today. And we've even made it easy. You don't even got to go anywhere. Whatever platform you're listening to this episode, go ahead and open up the show notes. And from there, you will be able to click the link to start your contribution to our 10 for 10 campaign. Your monthly support helps ensure Dem Bois can continue showing up for our community with intention, care, and impact. So thank you for listening and thank you for believing in our mission. Okay, and I'm going to get out of here so you can listen to this episode. Take care. How has you all's life changed, right? Because there's obviously a new normal. And so is it whether it's habits or you like, okay, we can't do this anymore. We had to give this up or now we need to do this. Is there anything like new life changes that has happened since Lou has arrived?
The biggest, and I don't know how this is going to sound, but the biggest one is we can't smoke together anymore.
You do.
We do after she goes to bed, but like morning time, that's like, that's wake and bake for us. We go smoke, then we make breakfast, and now it's like, I have to get up at 7:30. She wakes up at 7:30 on the dot. I have to get up 7:30, get her bottle, and then I come back to our room, get in the bed. So that's definitely changed. And I think for a while in the beginning, like when she just came home, it was hard for us to adjust to baby. Like it was all baby. And we needed some time just for us. So that was definitely an adjustment to just getting acclimated. And then like, we can't get up and go anymore. I can't go into the dispensary with him. But like you said, like that's a big part of why we moved here. So that's a big change for us.
Wait, they don't let you take babies into the dispensary or children?
You have to be 18.
Oh.
Yeah, some places you have to be 21.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess.
Well, we have our medical card, so you have to be 18 to go in there because if you're 18, you can get a medical card. But if it's recreational, you have to be 21.
Yeah.
Got you. So Lou blocking the smoke sessions.
Yeah. Once she goes down for the night, she is down for the night. Okay. She's out for at least 12 hours. She has to get 12 hours. Most of the time it's closer to 14, but if she doesn't get 12, we're all in trouble.
That's a blessing. So she's sleeping throughout the night.
Yeah.
Okay.
She has been for maybe a month and a half now.
Oh, that's beautiful. So the life change is not just sleep. So you all are getting your good rest. Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
She's just up during the day, so we kind of have to navigate through her schedule because she only takes 30-minute naps.
Unless she's here.
And then she's up.
Yeah. So, all right. Mace, what's the one great moment? She's only been here 3 months. What's one moment that you can reflect on and yo, this is a moment, a happy moment?
There are a lot of, she's always smiling and there are a lot of happy moments. But the moment would have to be when I caught her, when she was born, when she first came out and I was taking her to Keo. That's the moment.
I can't even think of that. I can't even think about it.
Keo, what was your moment?
I think it was so one of my favorite moments every day is going to get her out of her crib. She could be screaming her head off and I go in there, I'm like, "Hi baby, good morning," and I could just hear her laughing. But my moment would be when we were in the hospital. Everyone was knocked out. She was born at early in the morning, so everyone was knocked out. It's just me and her awake, and I'm just looking at this little baby I made this. And that was really surreal for me. She's here breathing, looking at me. And that was just that really, obviously we were having a baby before then, but now I have a baby.
Yeah.
And I still look at her in that same way with that same awe. And that was just me and her, it was me and her for so long. And now she's here.
Yes. I usually ask guests a random question. I'm not going to ask y'all a question because I want to ask you this last question before we get up out of here, but it's y'all first Father's Day. What we doing?
So I wanted us to be able to go like the places we like to go. Of course, you can't take the baby. Like, you can't take it to the sex shop. Can't take it to the dispensary. You can't take it to the gun range. But so this Father's Day, I got him a massage. He got me a massage card for my birthday in March. I still haven't used it, so I'm gonna use mine. And we're just gonna take turns. Like, he's gonna have his day.
Right.
Tomorrow.
Nice.
And then I'm gonna try to make an appointment for this weekend.
Nice. I love that.
We'll definitely do a dinner. We like to make our own food. So yeah, there's just not really great places out here.
Oh,
So we
no.
don't want to be disappointed. We'll have a little dinner. But yeah, I mean, we've low-key always celebrated Father's Day because we have
Yes.
little fur here.
Yes.
But yeah, no, this Father's Day is definitely really special because our little Lou is here. And I think, like, for me, it's just celebrating us making it 3 months,
Yes.
keeping this child alive for 3 months. And for me, like, having carried and birthed the baby, like, Mason has really, like, he's made that experience what it was. And that's why I want to do it 10 more times. So for me, it's just like honoring him as a dad. And so yes, massages are his thing. So that's why I got him a massage.
Nice.
Yeah, for me, it's just like honoring him as a dad this Father's Day and just being grateful for everything that he's done for us to get us to this moment. He's the best dad, the best dad that Lou could ever have, the best, role model, the best Black man that could be in her life.
That's beautiful. That's really beautiful. And so is there any last things of advice or encouragement that you want to leave with the listeners before we get out of here?
I think I said this before. Dream bigger than your wildest dreams. That's really it. Like, for all the queer people, all the trans people, like, there is so much possibility. There's so much possibility on the other side of that fear that you're feeling. And that, just take the leap. Just take the leap.
Just take the leap.
Whatever it is. I'm not saying get pregnant, have a baby, but if that's what you wanted to do.
And so we want y'all to take the leap too, to go out of Colorado. We got to get better food and community.